You had to be terrified.
Yeah, I mean, my heart was racing. It was like I was in the middle of a downhill ski race.
Wow, that's descriptive. I-70 in the mountains is not a downhill ski race. Dozens of drivers found out the hard way when more than 70 cars crashed into each other, causing a major pileup on the highway yesterday. It's all we were talking about at this time yesterday. 19 people were hurt. One had serious injuries. The crash closed I-70 for more than 6 hours. I-70 is back open today, but for the people involved, it will likely take months or even longer to figure out who's liable for the medical and repair bills. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Phil Lipoff. Deciding who's responsible falls to the Colorado State Patrol. Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates joins us now. And Kevin, people with wrecked cars and medical bills piling up could be waiting a while to see who's actually financially liable.
Yeah, Phil and Kim, we talked with a Denver attorney today about crashes like this one, and it's clear that the question of who caused it and who should pay won't be a simple proposition. When it comes to sorting out an incident like Tuesday's pileup in Clear Creek County, determining who's at fault and therefore who's on the hook for medical bills and wrecked cars means figuring out exactly what happened. Doing that requires one thing.
Well, data's the king, right? And there's all types of data. There's witness statements. A lot of people have videos in their cars or they have their cell phones recording, so get that data and preserve it.
That's not all, according to Denver personal injury attorney Phil Harding. Modern vehicles are equipped with a kind of black box known as an event data recorder, or EDR.
Most all of them record 5 seconds before an event, up through the event itself.
As the bills pile up in this crash, insurance companies and their investigators will be looking at all that data as they work to figure out whether someone else should shoulder the financial burden. That's because Colorado is a comparative fault state. That means a crash can be attributed to the actions of more than one driver.
My opinion is there's going to be a lot that are found at fault. And not only at fault, but partially at fault.
That reality led Harding to offer a piece of advice.
The other side's insurance company, they're not your friend. Talk to your insurance company, not someone else's.
People may remember a big crash 4 years ago at 6th and Calumet on a really icy road. We talked today to a woman who went through that. Back then, her insurance company tried to identify all the other drivers around her, but she didn't have that information, and in the end, her insurance company paid to replace her car, which was totaled. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Yeah, the whole thing is such a mess. I-70 was a mess yesterday. People were injured, and now sorting this all out, Kevin, I can't even imagine once you get insurance companies involved.
Well, think about it, Phil. Somebody caused the crash to start, but the next person that ran into them might be partially at fault because maybe they were driving faster than they should have been for the road conditions.
Yeah, and then the person behind them might not have had the right chains. It goes on and on and on. All right, Kevin Vaughn, thanks so much. And in cases like this, where so many cars are involved, Colorado State Patrol says it can be hard to avoid joining the pileup, as you would imagine. Think about coming down there and seeing all this in front of you. If you are driving and come to a crash, troopers say the best thing you can do is stay calm.
I think what a lot of people do, and obviously it's human nature and we get it, but people tend to lock up their hands to the steering wheel and then just slam on the brakes as hard as they can. And that sometimes precisely makes the car just do crazy things. Hang on to the steering wheel, but try to steer away from it. But you have to make sure that you stay calm about it. Otherwise, you're just going to slam into the next car in front.
Now, while you're thinking about, oh, if I join one of these, if I come upon one of these crashes, can I do that? CSP says there's something you can do before you get to that point. If you notice the weather is changing while you're on the road, that's the time where you can slow down, drive a bit more defensively. Our team coverage of this I-70 crash continues throughout the hour here on 9 News.
In just about 10 minutes, our legal analyst will join us to talk about the issues of liability in crashes like these and what you should know if this happens to you. Taking a live look outside where it's nearly 70 degrees today. breezy out there, but beautiful. We're talking about freezing temperatures by the weekend. And it's Wednesday, so we're almost through hump day. Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin is here with that forecast. It's coming.
And consider yourself warned. We are going to have mountain snow and ice in that very area where we had that 75 car pileup. We are going to see those conditions again on a busy Friday mountain travel day. So consider yourself warned. Follow the weather closely. Big changes coming at the end of the week. We have a beautiful day today. Windy, warm, sunny weather today and again tomorrow, ahead of a colder storm on Friday that will bring snow not only to the mountains but right here to Denver. We are in the 60s this afternoon. Beautiful conditions, but watching the wind increasing, especially over elevated terrain. We're talking about elevated fire danger, but the next storm is already on the way. And you can see the center of circulation in the Pacific Northwest. That is a cold storm that is headed in here Thursday night. Tonight, calm and quiet. Tomorrow, sunny, windy, and warm. Thursday night, we're going to monitor the approach of a cold front, and when you wake up Friday morning, you could have snow. That snow will go much of the day Friday before moving out around 8, 9 o'clock Friday night. That's when we are considering a hard freeze condition and a weather impact alert, as temperatures could go into the mid-20s. So if you're like me and you put flowers out too early, hopefully you didn't turn on your sprinkler, we're going to have a freeze watch, possibly go to a freeze warning for temperatures Saturday morning in the mid-20s. So we're going to talk more about the cold and snow forecast for Friday coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Kathy. Denver police said today the man they shot and killed last week for pointing a rifle at them was actually holding a BB gun. This happened last Tuesday on South Quitman Street. That's near West Mississippi and South Tennyson in the Westwood neighborhood. DPD says they got a call about a man with a gun. They said he was in an alley, not complying with demands to drop the gun. Officers say he eventually came out, moved toward them, and pointed his gun, but did not fire. That's when an officer shot and killed him. Today, Denver police said it wasn't a rifle, but a BB gun that looked like a rifle. And at the time, officers didn't know if it was real.
There was communication that was provided that indicated that they thought that the weapon might not be a functional or a real weapon. But there was no more information, and the officers were essentially left with an individual who possessed a weapon that looked very similar to a rifle that was pointed directly at them.
Denver police identified the man as 58-year-old Frank Martinez. They say the incident is still under investigation. It's in the early stages.
A new pilot program is helping older Americans access medicinal hemp after it was declassified by the Trump administration. The program allows Medicaid and Medicare to cover FDA-approved hemp products. So instead of hitting up a dispensary for marijuana, this would allow patients to go through their doctor. Shannon Donnelly is a professor of cannabis with MSU Denver. She says the pilot program would allow access to hemp products with up to 3 milligrams of THC. Not necessarily enough to get high, she says, but enough to treat conditions like cancer and anxiety.
But also changing the stigma around it and understanding this isn't our stoner who's taking this product. This is a regular individual who needs access to natural products, and now they can get it through their doctor.
Donnelly says seniors in the programs could get up to $500 of hemp products reimbursed annually. If you haven't filed yet, here's a reminder for you. Today is tax day. Coloradans who miss today's deadline to file their taxes will get an automatic 6-month extension for their state return. You'll have until October 15th to file. However, there is no extension to pay your taxes. Don't mix the two up. You'll still need to send 90% of your tax liability today to avoid any penalty.